Well, welcome everyone. I'm Irene. I'm from Uruguay, and I've been a member in TDSIG since May, so I'm the new one. And just a reminder, as Tyson said previously, we have a policy of no tolerance for any kind of offensive, racist, or homophobic comments. This second talk will be delivered by Zara, who's here already. And just if you want to go to her bio, you can check it here. And just by clicking on her last name, and it takes you to her bio. So now I'll pass the mic over to you, Sarah, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Irene. Let me just go ahead and share screen here. Okay. So my name is Zahra, like Irene said. I'm from Sri Lanka and I grew up in Bahrain, which is where I spent, most of my life. For me, the discussion on race or the interest in racism began when I was in university. I studied English literature and I was introduced to some really good pieces of literature like Toni Morrison's work, the work of Nadine Gordimer. I did a lot of reading of Commonwealth literature and a lot of reading on colonization, colonialism, and all of that. My interest in the discussion of race and race relations stayed with me, and I continued to study it further when I did my master's. And for my dissertation, I focused on the issue of race relations within the community that I live in, within the GCC, basically. In the past couple of years as a teacher, I thought a lot about how to use my teaching profession to address racism in the classroom and to sort of make students more aware of what they can do to combat racism. For me, initially, I felt like the solution to racism was simply to create that awareness, to open up a discussion on the different cultures and different races and different peoples that are there out there. And as an English teacher in an English language classroom, there's so much scope to do this because you can teach English language in the context of any subject, really. So I started to introduce a lot of poetry, fiction. You could introduce journalistic articles, films, music, whatever it is, into your English language classroom. But I soon started to wonder if it was really enough to do that. So I've got here a couple of questions for you. Is talking about race and racism in the classroom enough? As in, is it enough to combat racism or to fight racism in a society? Is it enough to know stories about different cultures and ethnic groups? Is it enough just to know different historical perspectives? I'm going to look into the chat box now, and I'm going to keep doing this a couple of times throughout the presentation. There's a couple of tasks where I would want you to reflect on your practice and your personal development. So if you could just put in some answers for these three questions in chat, please. Okay, so I've got, it's not enough to talk, it's just the first step. We need to look at it more critically. We need to know strategic purpose these perspectives serve, who they disempower. It's not enough just to talk about it. Criticality, definitely. Listening to stories is good, but who's telling these stories? Definitely, where the narrative is coming from. Yeah. And having a range of stories. Who's choosing the stories? Yes. Right. Yes. Some really good answers there. I think we can all recognize that there is a need for critical thinking when it comes to discussing racism in the classroom. So I'm going to pause there for a little bit to tell you what the aims of my session are. We're going to try and understand what critical thinking is and how it works. We're then going to try and explore it in the context of understanding cultures and combating racism. And throughout the presentation, I'm going to try and give you some classroom ideas that you can maybe utilize or adapt for your context. I want to say here that critical thinking includes so much. You can read and read and read endlessly about it. But what I have in this presentation will hopefully inspire you to do just that, to go out there and read about it and sort of develop yourself as a critical thinker. I would also like to say what I mean by the title of the session, Thinking Critically About Race. For me, the end goal in including lessons about race and cultures is to create an understanding of the diversity of cultures and the diversity of races and narratives that is out there. And what I hope to achieve from this is more compassion and more tolerance in the community so that students can go out there. And our students are the youth now, and they are going to become the leaders one day. So to go out there and sort of defeat, the dominant systems that are harmful in a society. And to do this, critical thinking is definitely necessary. But here's the first question then that we need to think about. What is critical thinking? Try to think of a definition, a couple of words, and put it in chat, please. Just anything off the top of your head, what you